Hi, guys. I am here today with Dan Canfield. Dan, thank you so much for joining us on our Spotlight episode.
Yeah, glad to be here.
So, Dan, you're out in Minneapolis today, right?
That's correct.
Awesome. And how have things been for you in terms of your investment during this quarantine and during this kind of time of uncertainty so far? How have you been dealing with things?
Yeah, been doing well. It's been nice to be home for a little bit. Now kind of more in office settings, so getting out a little more. But yeah, it's been good. Been seeing a lot of deals and been kind of investing hard over the last several months and finding a lot of great startups that are working through the crisis and making it work. And it's yeah, doing the best I can.
Awesome, awesome. And so I know that you've been investing a little longer than our fund has started. So, in terms of what has happened from last year versus this year, what kind of changes are you seeing on your side?
Yeah, so I'm a newer investor. Probably invested been about a year and a half since I started investing, and
Hmm.
yeah, but you're seeing just e-commerce companies, D2C companies who are scaling faster. That's where all the traffic's going, which makes sense. And usually those are the majority of companies that I've invested in. So yeah, I think when it comes to deal flow, the deal flow is still there. I think even more people might be kind of going into startups or trying to join accelerators because
Mm.
you can join any accelerator now. You're not just beholden to your geographical location. You can go anywhere. Everything's virtual. So yeah, just seeing more deal flow that way. And it seems like though on investor level, some cash has squeezed a little bit. So it's just
Hmm.
some companies have stopped to raise, or some investors are kind of waiting and only doing secondary rounds with their or follow alongs with their current investments. That's kind of where the landscape I see has changed a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that we're talking about this before about how a lot of the reserve has been saved for follow-on rounds or kind of existing companies, and more bridge applications have been coming through instead of like standard rounds kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. And I also know that you have two little kids at home. So how are they doing?
Yeah, no, they're doing great. Yeah, I have a 3-year-old and an almost 7-month-old, and yeah, they're great. They're so much fun. It's so exciting, and that's a startup in itself because you never know. There's crazy days, there's fun days, there's hard days. I really enjoy it.
We were at this like a funny investors event when it was like a panel of investors, and then one of the kids like went into the event too,
There
and
you
then
go.
just didn't leave. They just stayed there the whole time on the panel with everybody else. It was really funny.
Why not? Yeah, just it shows that everyone's real, right? Yeah.
That's true. That's very true. And has anything in terms of either becoming since like for example becoming a parent again changed your perspective on what things you might want to invest in the future or things that you would like to see happen in future generations?
Yeah, I think it's shown for some things when there's like a child product or this, I can really understand like, oh, from a parent point of view, here's what that looks like. Or when there's yeah, I think there's always a parent lens because you just your time is just so different, and when not everything's on your schedule, so you have to be able to plan around things. And while something might seem simple to implement, if you have a family and trying to balance that, you want it might not be. So yeah, I think it's just shown that there's a lot. It's complicated, and making something more streamlined and super simple is always a good approach.
Perfect. And are there any industries that you generally don't touch or you don't have interest going into?
Yeah, usually like pharma or biotech, things like that. Really don't know that much about. I'm always interested in learning. I don't know that much about food, but I've invested in a food company, so I'm always interested in seeing what it's like. But primarily stay away from stuff that I have absolutely no clue. Don't even know where to start. That's where I think it gets a little dangerous.
That's great. And so if you were to give advice to first-time entrepreneurs, because I know that you mentor at a lot of different accelerators, including Techstar and NewChip, what kind of advice would you give to first-time entrepreneurs that are doing this and raising money for the first time, going in to build a team for the first time? Where would you advise them to start?
Yeah, I think a lot of it starts with listening. So try to talk to as many people as you can and listen, but ultimately make the right decision. Don't let other people to make decisions for you, but get in all the data, sift through it, and really test. I found the more you can test, and I think as an investor, when you invest in a company, that's usually not the company that ends up being the winner.
Mm.
And usually they change, they take a left turn, they go backwards, they go forwards in different ways. So just make sure you're being an authentic founder because that's what investors really looking to invest in is you. So just be real. Say, this is how it is. We're testing. We're always trying things, and if you mess up, be able to admit that and celebrate the wins. but a lot of it comes down to that, yeah, feedback and just getting all that feedback, but making the right decision and kind of sticking with it and explaining why you might have went one direction and another.
And I'm sure that a lot of startups come to you to have help them make these kinds of big decisions over the course of their journey. Did you ever think of a time or recall a time where your guidance through this journey process or the decision making process really helped in terms of the strategy and the outcome was a very positive one?
Yeah, so like I said, I'm still kind of in the early stages of the investing, only about a year and a half. So haven't seen anything. No companies have died or none have gone public or anything. So we still probably 5 to 7 more years before something might happen there.
Hmm.
But a lot of times I look over if there's website redesigns or there's kind of strategy on marketing or kind of dipping in those buckets and seeing where I can help. So yeah, I've helped with some customer journey website redesign with putting buttons in different places or different call outs to segment kind of a customer base. So I've done some of those things before. Have they made like material impact? I don't know. Maybe it helped a little bit. But one startup I did run like their social media campaign for a couple months. It's actually a gym, so they have physical locations and they also have an online kind of workout platform. And we were able to, this is before COVID, we were able to drive a lot of memberships to a new store they opened in Colorado and was kind of their biggest opening. So I think I was a little help in some way for that.
Very good, excellent. And so, what advice would you give to your younger self? As let's say you got to go back in a year and a half of investment, or you got to go back to your very first investment. Were there either deals that you felt that, hey, I should have taken this, I should not have left it on the table, or were there ways of thinking that you wish you had implemented when making these kinds of early like first time decisions?
Yeah, I'm really not one to look back too much. I think, I mean, it's easy to say, "Oh, I should have done this." Well, great. If I would have had that hindsight, that's great. But I think it's, I mean, just doing things, just actually making things happen instead of saying, I don't want to do that. But sometimes there's investments you're like, "Ooh, that's, I'm putting that amount of money. That's kind of scary." But looking back, like you might as well just try it because you're going to learn something from it. So it's going to be a win either way. And
Mhm.
I view everything as a learning moment and learning opportunity. So put something in or put my time in something that it kind of, I'm not scared to take a left turn or maybe, take a step back because I know that would kind of help me going forward. So
Mhm.
I, yeah, view everything as that learning. So I don't think I say, oh, I should have done that, but kind of keep doing what I'm doing. Don't be scared to do things. I've bought
Yeah.
in some businesses or done some investments. So just kind of dive in head first, figure it out, take it as a learning and take the successes, learn from the failures and keep rolling.
Yeah, I think that it reminds me of this great quote that that an investor said, which was anything that you do and mess up in your 20s, you can always fix in your 30s, 40s, and 50s.
There you go. That's what, yeah. So mess up now, right? It's, yeah.
Exactly, mess up as much as you can.
Yeah.
And so, having said that, I know that you come from an entrepreneurship background and an investor background. And were there any kinds of big challenges or experiences where you've overcome a big challenge that was a great learning experience?
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a bunch. I guess from on the ownership side. So I owned a resale store. It was a clothing resale store and kind of jumped in with one location, was able to expand to 3 locations, opened up an online channel as well. But there was a point where we were like acquired another business and almost went bankrupt doing that. So kind of learned, how to spread yourself really thin. And that's always great. I think as a entrepreneur, business owner, really anyone, it's good to kind of understand what that like close to rock bottom might feel like when it comes to,
Yes.
your finances, where you think, wow, I might actually have to file bankruptcy. This is like really scary. You need to get that kind of chip on your shoulder and learn from that. So I really take that moment and learn from it. And there'll probably be some in the future. I think you can't be scared to have like, hey, I'm going to be hit hard financially with this, but I know I can overcome it and learn from it. And at least I took the challenge and I don't look back. I think where regret can kind of come in is when maybe you're 80 and you're kind of done working and you're like, all right, I really should have done that because why not? Looking back, like I'm alive today, I have great grandchildren, whatever, like should have just done those. So I would have maybe a fewer dollars in the bank, or maybe not. But that's where I'm scared to regret like way in the future. So I try to do things now.
Yeah. So you're more like a guy who, at the end of your life, you regret the things that you haven't done versus the things you have done.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
That's
Just do
great.
it. Yeah.
And so what do you think of the startup failure culture, especially very, very big in America, versus in other countries like European countries or Asian countries. Failure first culture, failure fast culture. Yay or nay, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think it's what makes some America, North America, like really strong is because of that. We're not scared to take those failures. And I think when you are scared of that, you just slow down, you relax, but you always have to be kind of up on it, rolling. So that's what I think makes this really country great is people are willing to fail. And it's now more than ever, it's celebrated. Instead of looking at maybe your resume, like, hey, here's who went to school, here's all this, like you call it, yeah, I failed in this, but I learned a lot because of that. And it's sometimes good to hire that person because if someone's only had successes, you don't know what they look like when they fail. Where if there's, you really know what most people look like when they have a success. They're excited, it's great. But a failure, I think, can really define somebody and you see their really true personality come out. So you want someone that has been through some rough patches and gets it.
Awesome. Okay, fantastic. And so thank you so much for letting us get to know you a little bit. Now we're going to get to know you some more by playing this game called Hey Robot.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, so this is my Google Home. This is my real Google Home. And so Dan, you were from Minneapolis, so we're going to do some kind of like a taboo game where we're giving each other words. Well, we have words that we'll both use, and then we'll take turns to see if we can make Google say it without us actually saying the word. Does that make sense?
Cool. Yeah, let's try it.
Okay, so there are 3 rounds to this. Let's get started. So Minneapolis is one of the Twin Cities, right? So your first key phrase is Twin City. So you have to say, hey, Google, and then give it a clue. See if you can make it say Twin City at some point.
Okay. Hey, Google, baseball in Minnesota.
The Twins lost 3-1 on September 30th against the Astros.
I got the first part.
Yes, that is true. You can try again.
Tough. Do you try too, or just?
I will try too. I just didn't think of one. Hey Google, what is a nickname for Minneapolis?
On the website estately.com, they say, those who've known Minneapolis all their lives often refer to it by nicknames like Minneapple, Mill City, West Street. Do you want a little more context?
No, you didn't say any of the things I thought you were going to say.
That's tough. I guess mine was pretty bad at first.
Sorry, I don't understand.
I know. Okay.
Oh boy. Yeah, well, I think you nailed it. Okay, hey Google, nickname for St. Paul, Minnesota.
The Twin Cities. On the website next 9.
Hey Google, stop. Very good. Why did it get one but not the other?
I know, that was weird. I had to go the back route. Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is Fortune, because Minneapolis is the highest number of Fortune 500 companies in like per capita in all of America, which I did not know that. They had all of these, like they had like 17 or something.
Yeah, it's really cool.
One area. That's a lot. All right, so how would you get it to say fortune?
Oh. Hey Google, a synonym for lucky.
Here are some synonyms for lucky, fortunate, in luck, blessed, blessed with good luck.
It's close enough.
We'll take
Google,
that.
stop. I don't know how you would else. Yeah, that's true. I would also have done a synonym as well. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last one is the famous Charles Schulz, which is the creator of the Peanuts comic, is actually from your city. So the next clue will be Peanuts. What would you say to Google? You can go first.
Hey Google, finish this sentence. Buy me some.
Sorry, I don't understand.
You can try it again and maybe speak faster.
Yeah. Hey Google, sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
To do that on YouTube Music, you'll need a premium membership.
Oh man.
If you're interested, YouTube
Hey
can
Google,
send
stop.
you.
Okay, so I'll
In
try.
that case, here's a station based on
Hey
Take Me
Google,
Out to the
stop.
Ball.
Oh, it just does that.
Here we go.
Hey Google, what are the most popular kinds of nuts?
On the website epicurious.com, they say peanuts, almonds, pecans,
Hey
and
Google,
walnuts.
stop.
Good call. I wanted the song, but that was good enough.
I know. I like how you went straight to baseball though, and you're like, it must be in there somewhere.
Yeah, there has to be. I have to name it.
Well, that is how you play Hey Robot. Hey Robot. Thank you so much for playing with us. And Dan, please share with us something that you are excited about, whether it's a startup or a project or any initiative.
Yeah, I recently invested in a company called Artifact. It was a Y Combinator company. Really excited about them. They do kind of personal podcasting. So if you have a grandparent or want to tell really a fun story, you can sign up and be interviewed through a professional kind of professional voice and get your own personal podcast that you can share out to the world. And it's been for wedding gifts, for family. It's really unique and something that lives on forever. So I would definitely check it out. Artifact. That's what I'm excited about.
Awesome. So we are going to put the link in the description below. And if you guys want to learn more about Dan, what is the best way to learn about you or reach out to you?
Yeah, you can always email me, dan@choldings.co, or just go to choldings.co or Google me, and I think I should come up, or LinkedIn. And yeah, always happy to connect with people.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And have a great rest of your day, Dan.
Thanks,
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.